Good morning and welcome to Morning Brew. It is, wow, it's Tuesday. Great, wonderful day. Tuesday, what is it now? 10th. All right, that means it's going to be Friday the 13th. Need to have something special on that day. Not sure what yet. And so far in the chat we have JP's who says, morning peoples, and blast off. What's going on, JP's? How are you doing? And brothers, aren't you together? It's so high. What kinds of weather? And Milton Knowles. Good morning, Milton. And I have, I'm sorry, good evening, Milton. I've not had my coffee yet. Just about ready to say I've had my first cup of coffee, then I realized I said good morning to you when it's evening there. So that's that. Single lyrics, an old cartoon called Rockin' Robin Hood. Ah, cool. Never, not one I remember, but, could be interesting. Oh, Milton says, you're not fretted. We'll be in 1 hour. Oh, you mean early morning? Yes. But that's not right now. I prefer to be more accurate. Let's see here now. It was from the 60s to the early 70s. Played all the way into the 90s. It must have been something in Canada. I don't know. funny. Forgetting some of the differences between countries, because obviously this is an international show. Sometimes things that are commonplace for us are a little different for others. So, how come you can't see whose chats? Let me look at the. Oh, goody! They're testing the sirens. Oh, and yes, I was actually JP's. I was actually talking to Milton. I don't know why you can't see him. Um, just have to break. We have won our third ever fight in Dungeons and Dragons yesterday. For some reason, it happens whenever I get to use my favorite spell and my quarter stuff. Well, that's because you cheat, Milton. You cheat. I've heard about your stuff that you have put together. Not sure why the. Hmm. And Robert Green. I would say good morning, but says it's official. My whole house has COVID except the grandkids. Tornado sirens. Yeah. Yeah, they do it. I don't know why. I'm sure it's a test because it would have stopped. It wouldn't have stopped by now. But see, you have cobbled together characters that can't actually exist according to the rules. And if it's well, it's this way, JP's. If it's not a test, then the show then suddenly won't be a big deal. And at that point, totally lost. Okay. So, now that I'm caught up, and good morning, PCAT. What's going on? Good afternoon, Mar. How are you doing? Um, well, yeah, it could be his cloak of invisibility. Mar asked if JP's on top chat. Nope, he's on live chat. And you're right, Kronos, you're not as late as yesterday. You weren't actually that late. Oh. So, anyhow, what's going on this morning? Uh, Captain, I'll try to worse late tomorrow. Um, if you do that, you'll end up being early, Kronos, and then you'll be first in chat. So, yeah. And since I am all caught up in the chat, here's the link. Of course, you're first-ish. Let me go ahead and pin the message. Uh, Mar says, I'm tired as hell and still need to be awake for another 4 to 5 hours. Or at last I have 8 days. Damn. Well, you are first-ish. So, yeah. Why not? So, what's going on? Today, obviously, is Tuesday. The day I look forward to least. Of course, he says, hey, Krill. Well, it wouldn't be the worst thing to happen. Good evening, Milton.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you.
I'm all right too. That's good. So what's been up with you lately?
Oh, not too much.
Still keeping out of trouble, I hope?
No, unfortunately not.
Ooh.
That's life, though.
Ooh. My character was instrumental in killing zombies last night.
Zombies. Okay.
Yep. And I got 3 zombie teeth. I don't know what you can do with them, but my character pulled them out of the zombies. I'm going to figure out something interesting.
Sounds like
By
a
the
good
way,
game. Yes.
I did pretty good for a sorcerer that every single spell is nerfed because the DM's scared that I might do something that I shouldn't. That most likely is not allowed magical items in the game because the DM's boyfriend told me how I could possibly break the game with some of them. But he still allowed them.
Ah.
I'm not even allowed regular dancing lights because I might use it to distract the other players or something.
You would.
Actually, no, I wouldn't. I'm actually the only one that hasn't done shenanigans yet in the game. And despite that, the first thing that happened is my character got a control collar put on them. I've literally, for the first time in my life, I've literally played a game fair, correctly, and haven't even lied on my dice rolls. Yep. And I know that might sound unbelievable to some, but it's true. So yeah. That's the only fun thing I've been doing lately.
No, Kronos, I'm not walking on bubble wrap. I wish I were. That would be fun.
Oh, I'd love to be walking on bubble wrap.
Why would you want stripper lights? I don't think anybody mentioned stripper lights. Kronos says, stripper what?
That's not what dancing lights is. Dancing lights are supposed to be able to be used as a flashbang, but I'm not allowed to use them as an attack or anything like that.
Dancing lights are not stripper lights, is it?
Technically in game you can do something like that with them, but you're not supposed to. And plus, I don't know what a medieval strip joint would even be.
I know.
Yet again, I suppose it's not quite medieval world. My character has cargo shorts, so they have pockets. Because I thought it was funny that they had pockets. And the DM was really, really nice.
Uh-huh.
Yep. By the way, I don't recommend playing a sorcerer. It's a worse wizard. And I don't recommend playing a deliberately nerfed sorcerer because it's an even worse wizard. It was the only way I could get out of playing a barbarian, and I didn't want to play one. I've already played one.
Now, if you called them flash things like they're supposed to be called.
No, they're literally lights that dance. Not the people around them, just the lights. I can change the colors of them too.
And Kronos says stripper poles need polishing. Well, yeah, that's true.
Yes, I recommend Brasso for that. It gets that smell out. Sorry.
All right. JP says you don't need pockets when you have an infinite bag of holding.
I'm not allowed one of them because I got told how you can drain the sea with one, technically. Like, yeah, I like, yeah, I don't get it either. Actually, might be allowed one now. I got told if I make it to round 3 without shenanigans, all the restrictions might be removed. I am allowed a restricted bag of holding, though. And that might be my fault. I suggested putting an entire church in one. Kind of
That
thought
would be why.
I kind of thought throwing a whole church at a dragon might be a good way to kill it. I was being sarcastic, but I took it a little too seriously. In fairness, Captain Trek, would you be able to resist, by the power of God, be gone, foul beast, and tipping out a church on top of it?
I've never gotten into that, so I don't know. And I'd agree, Kronos. He says, "Be right back."
No, Kronos, don't go. We love you. I don't catch you often enough, Captain Trek. You're on too late.
Well, that does happen because of the time difference.
That's why half the people I know don't watch you, because they're just in bed.
Well, there are going to be a few people that are going to be watching again once the time change happens, but they'll only be watching for now. So, what can I say?
You can say lots of things because you're a great person. You're at least 10% nicer than what I am.
Now, I'll agree with that. Sometimes.
By the way, I'm still hyped up after yesterday. I mean, heck, I did like about 60% of the damage to all 5 zombies. I did better than the tanks. Mostly because I remembered not to use poison magic against them because it heals them.
Okay. What's going on? But let's see here if I can get this.
Oh, and I made a weapon yesterday in the game that made the DM go, holy crap.
Mm-hmm. What was it?
I rolled a natural 20 when I was making a poison steak.
Okay, and we've got
I was making it for a bird monster that kind of made it so we can't get all our stuff.
and we've got Tim.
Oh, I hate that. Oh, there you go. I was gonna say I always hate the little like tall avatar things that doesn't do the full screen. There you go.
Hey, that's my toilet after curry night.
Yeah, we were watching Suicide Squad last night on Nanzo's channel, and LDG missed a pivotal, important point. He's like, "Wait! I thought they were all dying. Why are they standing up?" And I was like, "Dude, you didn't you pay attention to the toilet seat? Because the toilet seat in foam it said 3 days earlier." LDG Billy's like, "I'm not gonna pay attention to a toilet. Like, you gotta pay attention to the toilet."
Hey, Tim, I
So
killed
gotta
a
be
zombie
together.
with a single blow of a quarterstaff yesterday.
Well, yeah, it's because zombies suck.
Hey, I also did over 60-something% of the damage.
That's not right, dude. You're a sorcerer.
I know, but what happened was one of the party members was attacking Krishna's character, so Krishna's character was out of action dealing with that. So basically, my character just incinerated like 3 of the zombies, pretty much all the way to death.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do. You're a sorcerer. You've got spells.
I know.
You burn them to death. You mean you actually did something useful?
Shut up. But hey, last mission I held my own too. Last mission I held my own as well. I just shouldn't have tried patting the monster bird.
Every time I hear about an episode of this adventure, I want to join because I'm sorry, a lot of you guys would be dead.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault. Zombie birds don't. Monster bird things don't like being patted. I didn't know this.
Well, you don't have to run around patting things on the head. I mean, God.
Okay,
I just know my
Milton, I've never played Dungeons and Dragons, but I wouldn't go around patting anything on the head.
I know. Like, okay, Milton, remember the little gnomes you kind of lined up and patted them on the head? You do know that D&D gnomes. Oh, damn it. Okay, there it is. D&D gnomes don't look like this. Okay? that's not a gnome in D&D.
No, that's definitely
not. They might be about as tall as a dwarf, and they could kick your ass quite easily. They may have small frames, but according to the stats, they're just as strong as regular humans.
My character. My character's
Hello,
like an inch shorter.
It's Berto Brave.
Berto Brave. Kapla.
Hey, Berto Brave.
Hey, Kroga.
What's going on?
I want you to join our.
I just got here. I spent 20 minutes composing a reply to a YouTube video.
Is it from the Salty Trucker?
It might have been a video posted by the Salty Trucker.
Yeah, I just made a reply to that myself. I had fun with it.
Okay.
We won't get into that, though.
Yeah, I was going to say. We're probably on different sides, so don't worry about it. What we got here? Tim, Milton, and Grandpa.
What's up, Grandpa?
Captain, of course.
Oh, I'm actually on cloud 9 today, man. I actually got blocked by somebody. It's been a while.
Woohoo!
It doesn't usually sound
Did
like.
she have purple or blue hair?
Oh,
or was she a she?
I don't know what she was. I think she had black hair, but might have just
was
been
a
her
she.
avatar.
We established it was a she, so my assumption was correct. I don't want to get banned for gender misgendering somebody.
Hey, all I know is I go off the names, and
Not
sometimes
here.
you go off of typing. You can kind of if you've done enough emails and stuff in my lifetime, you can tell sometimes when it's a man or a woman typing.
Oh yeah.
It just depends on I mean, not all the time, but if it's a casual conversation, you can kind of tell in the difference in the writing.
You know, when people
Now,
used to handwrite things, it
Yeah.
was a hell of a lot
Handwriting. Oh
easier
my
to
God.
tell if
Oh,
you
yeah, it
were
was easy
getting
to
a
tell a
note
man's
from a
handwriting
guy
from a
or a
girl's.
girl.
I found out that I was blocked by somebody that I never even conversed with. Probably blocked me because I was part of a group, but still, it's entertaining. There's this writer for Crunchyroll, one of the writers from High Guardian of Spice. She's hit a couple YouTube channels I watch. So I wanted to check out her Twitter just to see if some of the things they were saying about her is actually true, like what she says about men. And I went and looked her up, and yeah, it's like, you are blocked. Oh, well, shit. I didn't even know who she was before today.
Well,
In 1 year, half the Wiccan channels I went to go onto, which are all SJW, hairy ape woman monster things that hate men or anything with a dick, I found out that I was blocked from over half the channels I went to go on, and I have never even been on them.
Yeah.
They
it's
share
interesting
Okay,
how that
leaving
happens.
nasty comments.
Yeah,
Pre-blocked.
we're blocked by association.
Yep. Which I
Well-
don't care. That's fine.
Well, what got me was, as most of you know, I'm big into politics. So, but you also know, most of you know, I beat people
Are
up
you?
in politics with facts, and that's what usually gets me blocked. Is when because I asked a question on this. I said, okay. I said, tell me what Trump did wrong. See, because I can actually answer that question because there were things during the presidency I didn't care for. I can actually answer those questions.
Mhm.
And they will be like, are you
You're
blind? Are
asking
you
an
stupid? Are you an
opinion as a
idiot? I'm
fact.
like, no, I know what I disagree with, but I'm kind of like, hey, let me show you what I like. And then of course, as I go through the list of accomplishments that I was personally happy with, that's when usually I get blocked because they can't counter what I'm saying. And then I got a guy who wanted to argue with me about Israel, and I was like, oh, don't go here, buddy. Don't go here. I spent 16 years dealing with the AOR of the Middle East. You don't want to go here. It's like, okay. And then I had to politely remind the person that the United States does not recognize Palestine.
I know it's been a while since my birthday, but I did get a personalized message from Donald Trump. I'm not joking.
Nice.
Here it is.
If your birthday is going to be absolutely huge, the biggest birthday you have ever seen, no one will ever see a birthday as amazing as this.
Milton,
Let's make
come on.
days.
I got that same birthday card.
Yeah,
That son
right.
of a bitch.
I love the kissy face.
You've been
I
lied
love
to.
the kissy.
I picked it up at Walmart.
Are you saying they're mass producing this stuff in China?
Yep.
Motherfucking China.
Yeah, my card's
I
made in
thought you
China
said
as
he
well.
recorded it just for me.
My favorite NB. My favorite.
You guys copied my birthday card. I'm afraid.
And
He's
NB,
allowed to give the identical personalized message to everyone.
my favorite comment about Trump, I think was Antarctic Press actually made this the first comment on this, is that they said that Trump is probably the most dishonest president we've ever had, because he was honest about what we were doing as a country, but he'd be like dishonest about dumb stuff like who he slept with, what his taxes were, stuff like that. But when it came to like official things like how are we doing in the Middle East? Oh, we're doing great. We just sold a lot of guns to the Middle East. And you got all the other officials behind him going, what are you doing? Don't tell him about that. You know,
He technically wasn't dishonest about his taxes, but
well, yeah, whatever. It's just.
I had that. That was a funny one.
Yeah.
That was the funny one because I I pointed out in one of the things.
I know,
said,
Cap. I'm sorry, but I couldn't.
Well,
let
I
it
did
go.
point out this.
I know.
But this is when I say I go with facts. This is one of the reasons why I can beat people up with it, because I said, well, he did go in. His net worth was about $4 billion. And when he came out, his net worth was $2 billion. And this person was like, "Oh, you think Trump's a billionaire? You're funny." I'm like, "Okay, smartass. Go to Forbes, pull it up, link it, send it to him." I'm like, "It's not adorable. It's just facts." And then they want to pivot and talk about his taxes. And I'm like, why do you care about taxes? First off, you'll never read them. Second of all, even if you did, chances are you're not going to understand them. There's a reason why we have tax lawyers, for God's sakes.
I'm trying to figure out. Okay, I'm going to first of all honor Kronos's request.
Listen to me very carefully, because I'm only going to say this once. Coffee. Black.
Coffee. Black. While I've got your attention, there are...
Coffee first. Well, this mentor would like another cup of coffee. I'm just gonna have to give up coffee. Want some coffee?
If I'm not mistaken, that's your third cup this morning.
Fourth, and on a day like today, it won't be my last. Coffee. The finest organic suspension ever devised. Commander, set a new course. There's coffee in that nebula.
You had text for that?
Did you know that it's possible to overdose off coffee, but you would overdose off the water in it first?
Exactly.
Yep.
Ken, did you add text to that clip?
Yes, the clip has text. Why?
No, did you add it? Because I didn't notice it before.
It's been there.
It has?
Mhm.
Oh, well, shit.
It's been over there, man.
I guess I was staring at Janeway too much.
Oh, I like this. I got a meme from someone, I guess, in the comment, and it's Denzel Washington slamming a door on somebody. And I was like, my response was, I'd be honored if Denzel Washington slammed a door on my face. Then I could say I met Denzel Washington.
What's a Denzel Washington?
Denzel Washington's an actor.
That's so got to be the name for my next character I play.
Denzel Washington?
Yeah, I don't even know anything about him. I really want it for my overly fancy goblin that I play next.
Oh, he's got some freaking excellent movies over in his repertoire.
Yeah, he's a really good actor.
How do you convince somebody to let you play as a millionaire goblin?
A what? A millionaire goblin?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been a while. I don't know. I haven't seen D&D, I did 5th edition or any of them in a long time. I don't remember how them.
We can overdose on air. I think somebody in the panel has already overdosed on air.
It's not me, is it?
I overdose those on air every night. And it comes up each morning.
Yeah, me too, Bird. Me too.
And yes, that's what it sounded like you said, Kurtos. Yeah.
I am trying to wean myself off needing oxygen. I know it's a dirty habit and I'm horribly addicted to it, but I'm working on it. I just need to see somebody else do it first.
Yeah, Resolute Germ he said this perfectly. I was just looking at this on Twitter. It's talking about reading about Snow White and her age and the prince's age, and then it kind of points out that in that one, the Disney fairy tale, they weren't given ages, but if you're looking at the ages and stuff, if you're looking at Grimm fairy tales, you got to remember how old those stories were. It was not uncommon for young girls at that age in those time frames to marry older men. It was actually considered quite normal back then. We find it sick now, but back then it was found very normal.
Yeah.
It would depend on the region, though.
Yes, that is true. It would depend on regions and culture.
Like some regions, it was essentially not allowed. In other regions, it was kind of expected for their first marriage.
Well, I mean, what I find funny is you have so many religious people who don't seem to understand that Mary was young and Joseph was old.
Well, that and a lot of marriages back in the day was essentially somebody to look after the dying old person. There wasn't actually a consummation expected.
Well, one of the things
But in
too
other
was
places,
during the beginning of a if you go into it back then, going into the beginning of a Jewish marriage, there were certain restrictions that were in place during the initial first year of marriage.
Mm-hmm. And good morning, Frog G.
See, that's the thing that a lot of people this is what always drives me nuts when I see them on Twitter when they're or anywhere where they talk about, oh, what about your Christian values? I'm like, do you know anything about the Christian religion? Because I don't think you do. Because if you've ever read the Bible, you'll find out. I've told people, they're like, yeah, I thought your God was all loving. My God also has a fucking temper. You read the Bible, you'll notice that.
it doesn't say anywhere in the Bible that he's an all-loving God. It says jealous and vengeful, but not loving. But I haven't read it since I was 12.
Well, I mean, we do devotion with our kids and everything, and I look at God as more of and I usually refer to him as Yahweh, the Hebrew name. Is yeah, he's a loving God, but he's also a God who's gonna put you on your put you over his knee and whip the shit out of you if you get out of line.
I have never broken any rules in my entire life. I am referring to board games exclusively.
Okay.
I have only ever played one board game, though, Dungeons and Dragons, which I may be a little bit excited about. Have you guys ever heard of it? It's fun.
I've heard of it, yes. Played it, no. What's going on today, Bird?
Not a whole lot. Woke up, I don't know, an hour or so ago. Still in kind of a daze, truth be told. We're dealing with trying to work on both the chair and the hospital bed. I have a dentist coming next week. So we had a little not backup, but apparently the new hospital bed might not fit the lift that goes under the bed that we need to use when I switch from bed to chair. So yeah, apparently it's got less clearance underneath. So we got to either find a different bed or a different lift. Not the end of the world, but good thing we figured this out before. Then otherwise it would have been a bit of an issue when I tried to get back into the bed and the lift didn't fit under it. I'm also not 100% convinced it doesn't fit. I think it might fit if we angled it right.
Right.
But it's something we gotta do more work on.
Mm-hmm.
I could make it fit with an angle grinder and a sledgehammer.
So I guess that's probably our
well,
ongoing
I'm sure
project.
that's Yeah.
But for today specifically, I plan to stream at my normal time, 4 p.m. Open lines and Call of Duty. Oh,
I will catch it if I'm not unconscious.
Yeah. Rocket like that. Let's get jump jets and laser upgrades for Brother Prairie 5's chair.
wait,
I wouldn't trust him with a
definitely
laser
want the
pointer gun.
laser upgrade.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
I wouldn't trust you with lasers, Bird.
And you're right, Frog G. It's never too early to leave.
Why am I looking at wallpaper designs?
I don't know.
Hey, a NatLab. They throw arrows. And make that. Always wanted one. Oh my god, that thing decorns corn. I need to buy one for each of my American friends.
Oh, Lord.
Well, Americans like corn, don't they?
Yeah. Why?
There's a machine that you can just decorn corn pretty much instantly with.
What corn? What?
You can separate the corn from the corn husk just about instantly.
That's not usually an issue we have.
Oh.
Is that for farmers?
Now, if you're
I think
talking corn from the cob, then yeah, that's sometimes an issue. But
I think
some
it was
people
so
actually. Go ahead.
I think it was so they could make popcorn kernels. I want to see popcorn on the cob.
Oh, well.
I know there's no use for it. I just want to see it.
The first time I saw somebody use a knife to cut the corn kernels off corn on the cob and then eat it like just regular corn, I was amazed, and life was never the same. It was so easy.
Sorry if I made it too corny, Captain Trek.
I'm sorry. Not that I could eat it anymore, but why would you take corn off the cob?
It's so much easier to eat. It tastes better too.
No, it does not taste better. It doesn't taste
Sisso
better.
Prey. I'll be right back.
The only good corn is popcorn or corn chips with heaps of artificial cheese dust on them. Heaps of it. Like heaps of cheese dust.
Oh, dear.
Oh, I saw Cheetos at the supermarket last year for the first time ever. I
Okay.
nearly bought a packet,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't. I don't trust that foreign food.
I wouldn't either.
It's not made in New Zealand. I don't trust it. Hey, a side table made out of gears. I could make one. Some of the mining equipment has huge gears.
I'm back. Sorry.
Grandma's upset down.
Anyway,
Bird,
yeah,
what is the
I
word?
find corn much tastier freshly off the cob. A lot of butter,
A lot of butter.
freshly cut off the cob. I mean, 'cause
Okay,
when it's
well-
on the cob, it's getting stuck in your teeth and shit.
That's exactly why it's good.
I know it's not good to get stuck in your teeth.
Oh yeah, it is.
That's why you pull your dentures out.
See, if you're gonna have it like that, you might as well have it out of a fucking can, and just drain it and put a lot of butter on it and pretend it's freshly off the cob.
But it tastes better when it's actually freshly off the cob.
Yeah, you're both saying you like fresh corn that is on the cob. Just one person is saying he likes to cut it off first, and the other person is saying they like to bite it off. Why don't you just both admit that you like corn the wrong way? I mean, popcorn is the only way to have corn. And corn
I like
chips.
popcorn too, don't get me wrong. But that's a different type of corn. You can't turn sweet corn into popcorn.
Then what's the point in having it? We need more room for the pippity popcorn.
I don't know. It kind of reminds me of the MASH episode where they're growing corn to have fresh corn on the cob. The corn's then cut off the cob, and they have what? Creamed corn.
That is like the meanest thing to do to someone. This is the sort of psychotic thing I would freaking do.
I hate cream of corn.
No one likes cream of corn. People invented it to punish themselves with it.
Now, we did get some fresh corn on the cob, fresh off the stalk not too long ago, and, cooked that up, rolled it in some butter, and just ate it right off the cob.
It's just grass seed,
JP's
though. Why are you
pooping
going
out
eating?
undigested kernels is great. It's like corn you eat, but you never have to digest, so you don't gain any weight. It's like free food. 0 calories, but it fills you up.
Oh god.
Kronos, I had
cream corn. Why do you like cream corn?
Plus, you can have it again if you needed to.
Cap, I had an interesting thing with
Have corn on the cob twice.
No, it was so funny.
Yeah.
It was so funny. My grandfather, this is what he would do. He would make corn on the cob, always. And everybody would eat the corn on the cob except him. He would take a knife, cut the corn off the cob, and eat it that way. He never would eat corn on the cob.
That's exactly the way to do it.
Knife.
No.
Absolutely. A nice steak knife. It cuts it off real easy.
Yep. That's what he did.
He's a good man.
I'll put it this way. Right? I get weirded out by certain foods, and you've just weirded me out with corn for the rest of the year, saying that you're going to cut it off the cob. It's a statement
Kronos
of fact.
says his grandpa did that as well. Yeah.
Hello,
Actually,
Professor
my
Brady
grandfather and
Speck.
my great-grandfather did that. Heck, my great-grandfather, you know what his staple was in his meal? Because
Steak.
he grew up during the Depression.
Mm-hmm.
His staple was the bread and buttermilk.
Buttermilk?
Buttermilk. I'm telling you, every day at dinner, the man had bread with his dinner, and he would always dip the bread in buttermilk. Always.
Not a fan of buttermilk.
No.
Buttermilk, neither butter nor milk.
No, I mean, it's good for cooking, but drinking, no. But he loved his buttermilk. And he would dip his bread in it every time, all the time. That was
Buttermilk
his
is a
staple.
byproduct of making butter.
Yes.
It was just interesting. I mean, that was his staple. I mean, if anything, I remember him eating. There was always bread and buttermilk at dinner.
It's good enough for the depression. It's good enough for now.
Well, no wonder why they were depressed if they were having buttermilk.
Whereabouts did he live? If you don't mind me asking, was he dealing with the Dust Bowl?
He lived in Granite City, Illinois, where most of my family is originally from. That's where, well, he's not originally from there, but that's where he stayed for quite a while. He worked on the railroad tracks. He worked on the railroad. I don't know exactly what he did, but I think he was a steel maker. I think he was a steel maker for rails. And once he retired from the rail company, him and my granny moved to where he wanted to go, which was Tennessee. So he ended up spending they ended up spending almost all their retirement in Tennessee Ridge, Tennessee.
Tennessee, that's where old man Anti-Tracker lives.
Aren't you all old men?
Yeah, but some of us are older than others.
Oh my God, I'm getting attacked by a dog.
Greetings, Random Menace. Yes, food talk, because we're Americans.
Oh, I remember I remember another thing. It was so funny. My granny would be like, she would always use this funny saying, because my grandfather was a smoker. And she'd be like, I could die tomorrow and he still won't quit that damn tobacco.
Well, why would he quit if you died? It doesn't make any sense.
No, she died.
I understand.
Saying. I don't know. It was just a comment she used to make.
It's a weird comment.
She never liked it.
Like
I guess she never liked
two unrelated things. Like, I could die tomorrow and the sun's still going to come up. Well, yeah.
But I think it might have just been two unrelated statements said in sequence. Like,
hey,
I could die tomorrow and I'm on YouTube.
Hey, all I know is it's what my granny would say. I think it had to do with she never really preferred him smoking, but just dealt with it. I mean, I was fortunate. I got to go to their.
That's weird that
wedding.
she was so against smoking back in the day when people were always smoking.
Most smokers I know are in their late 90s.
Well, this is where when also we have to think about cultural differences now, because my granny was born almost 100 years ago.
Wait, was she born in Germany?
No, my granny was born in 1923. I believe it was 1923 when she was born.
Let's try that again. Was she born in Germany?
No, she was born in America.
Okay, that's the answer, not the year she was born.
Oh, I don't understand where Germany came from.
Well, because Germans of a certain time were very anti-smoking.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Was she born in Germany? No, she was born in 1923. What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
He said 1925 to me.
No, what was interesting was I had no idea that nobody had ever called her by her first name. I didn't even know my granny's first name until I read her obituary. I said, because I actually was reading it and I went to my family and I said, they screwed up her name. They go, no, that's her name. I said, what do you mean? They've got Mary Christine Hildreth. And they're like, yeah, Christine was her middle name. I'm like, did anybody think that would be information I might want to know? Mind you, at the time of her death, I was 28 years old.
And good morning, Catman, a.k.a. D.D. Myers. Good morning, Mountains of Elysium. Or good
I could
afternoon,
see
Mountain.
that. My grandmother went by the name Phyllis. Really? I mean, that was the name that she had. she used when she because she worked her whole life. She worked for Xerox. She worked at a college in the provost's office. And her friends, they all knew her as Phyllis. But her birth certificate, her actual name was Philomena. And I don't know, I was into adulthood before I learned it. I probably wasn't 28. It was probably maybe 22. But yeah, I mean, they had no.
My
She
grandmother's
chose
name
a
was
different
Nana
name.
Knowles, and it would be disrespectful for me to learn her real one.
That's another way. I'd call her Mama.
Well, it was my her son, which is my great uncle, my grandmother's brother. I actually finally at one time caught on to
What's
something
so
that I
great about
just
this uncle?
hadn't.
I don't know.
What's that?
What's so great about this uncle?
Well, he's my great uncle.
Yeah, why?
He's my grandmother's brother.
And good morning, Kronos and Vanable. I want
joke
Mama
about
Pray
that.
Tale more than a bird story. Thank you. Thank you, Kronos and Vanable, for that backstage comment.
Thanks, Kronos.
But yeah,
Where
what I
am
mean,
I?
my great, I mean, he was my great uncle only because he was my my grandmother's brother, and what I always knew him as my Uncle James, and it took me until I got a little bit older. I think I was around high school age. I started noticing everybody didn't call him James. Only my grandmother, me, and a few other people called him that. Everybody else was calling him Ronell. And I finally asked, I was like, you know, Grandma, why do we call him James and other people call him Ronell? Turns out Ronell was his middle name, and that's even what his parents called him. They called him by his middle name. So I was kind of like, well, Grandma, why were you different? She goes, because I like being different. I'm like, oh, now that explains a lot about my personality. Kronos, you little tease.
Yeah, Kronos, you're not going nowhere. We all know you're not.
A whole new world. Kapla. Oh. Bird saws me. Later, taters.
Professor Brainy Specs, I don't see you say anything since you said hello to me. So how are you being ignored?
Here's something different for you guys. I'm having bolognese.
I don't have
mince
YouTube chat up right
with
now, so
Albo pasta.
Hey, Tim, is that
I'm having
John
spaghetti
Cena with the
bolognese with
China
Albo.
logo?
yes, it is.
Oh, I
love
love
China.
it.
If you've said a lot, Professor, it's not coming through to YouTube.
There have been chats that have not been going through. I don't know what's going on. Milton's chats weren't going through to YouTube. I don't know if they are now or not. Chats that have not been going through.
I did post a chat yesterday, an anti-tracker that he never saw, and then I refreshed the page and I realized it never showed up. Refresh, Professor.
Sorry.
And if the comments don't show, they never got submitted to
Okay,
YouTube.
so I'm going back and I'm looking here. I see Kapla 5. I see one wonderful interview yesterday with Random Menace.
Yeah, that's
please
about
post
8
link to
a.m.
the
is the last one I
interview.
Please post
then
a link to
ignored
the
by
interview
panel.
at 8 a.m.
That's all I see. That's on Top Chat. I didn't look at live.
I wish this stupid thing would
I'm
stop
looking
with
in
the top
StreamYard,
chats
which
first.
shows all the chats live.
Mm-hmm.
Live chats, it was always on.
The live
StreamYard.
on my end shows the same thing as the Top Chat.
Random Menace says, I did not hear a Dear Bop I submitted yesterday. There was one or two Dear Bops at the very end that were still there when I went back. I mean, if you had submitted it towards the end of the day, that might have been why. Otherwise, I'm kind of curious what it said. To see if I missed it or if I might have skipped it accidentally.
And what's going on Mountains of Elysium? Yeah, doesn't know how to refresh on his phone. I don't.
I think
Can't answer that.
Cap. I think there's a phrase Ronald Reagan used to use, and I think we can update it to apply now to current technology. I'm from big tech, and I'm here to help you.
Yeah,
Big tech is not here to help you. Don't lie.
Exactly.
Well, it's like Ronald Reagan said. The scariest things was to hear is, "I'm from the government, and I'm here to help."
There's truth in that.
Now. It's like with big tech. Hey, I'm from big tech, and I'm here to help. Yeah, sure you are.
So I read something about dog, but I didn't read the one about twins.
I heard dong and twins. Please correct me.
No, that's exactly what I said.
Dong? D-O-N-G?
Yeah, that's what I said. Dong.
Okay.
I said the Dong and twins. They live right next door to each other.
Some would say they were joined at the hip. I read something about dogs the other day. Evidently, they're not cats. No.
I'm going to agree with Kronos.
About what?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
In relation to
The whole fucking thing. By the way, anybody who puts my name on a fucking Dear Bop letter, go to fucking hell. Go to fucking hell. Go fuck yourself with a fucking watermelon upside your... Yeah, just go fuck yourself.
Why?
I don't write Dear Bops. I don't want to write Dear Bops. And I'm sure as fuck not going to sign it.
Write to my boss for me.
So if you're going to sign my name to something, you better make it go through me first. Or better yet, go fuck yourself. Sign your own goddamn name to it, asshole.
that's
What I miss?
See, it's not all in fun when you misrepresent yourself as being someone else.
Okay, fine.
So, yeah.
Stop telling people that I'm a nice guy.
Well, we all know you're not, but, that's... You try your hardest.
Well, I don't really pay attention to anything either.
We know. We know.
And thank you, Frog G.
All I know, if I was a better cook, I would be an international asset.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Because fuck, my dinner is awesome even cold. The trick is, you make regular spaghetti bolognese, but instead of long pasta, you use the elbows.
Okay.
Yep.
I think my favorite pasta is bow ties. Bow ties or shells.
I thought you said Botox. What the? I
When you think your ears need to be cleaned out.
Yeah. God.
And if they are, I will be saying, fuck you.
Exactly, Professor. Exactly.
Captain Trick, can you write a letter
You let
to
people know
Guy
it bothers
Bartholomew?
you, they're going to do it.
Okay,
So
then.
my boss is
Okay,
the
you
New
know what?
Zealand government.
Guess what? Fuck this. Goodbye.